Before we begin, please imagine the bell notification is on and you're subscribed to Huna Stories. The restaurant was quiet except for the clatter of plates and the low hum of conversation from nearby tables. I had been promoted earlier that week, and the celebratory dinner had been something I thought my family would want to share in. I sat across from an empty chair, the reservation in my name, fork hovering mid-air. My phone buzzed. "You're not exactly a priority right now." It was my mom. Short, casual, dismissive. The words lingered in the air, heavier than the pilot McNan in front of me. I stared at them, then out the window, at the traffic sliding past. My achievement, the first real milestone that felt like my own, was already reframed as inconsequential. I remembered another time, years ago, when I had worked late nights for a school project, and my brother had simply borrowed my work to present as his own. The praise went to him, the parent glow, the congratulations me. I got a pat on the shoulder and a change of subject. Small betrayals repeated often enough form a pattern, and tonight's pattern was very clear. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed again. A new post from my cousin. Family night out for the real success story. A smiling photo of my brother holding the keys to a brand new jet ski. The caption gleamed with their unspoken hierarchy. I scrolled down, noting the likes and comments piling up, all celebrating him, all ignoring me. The $1,940 he spent, a luxury I had helped cover in small, almost invisible ways over the years. I put my phone down, inhaled slowly. I felt the familiar tug of frustration, the old ache of being unseen. But there was something else this time, a calm recognition. I had been subsidizing their image of success for 3 years. The mortgage payments I'd quietly handled, the bills they never noticed, the checks they didn't thank me for, had become a tool I could finally disengage from. Back home, I sat at my desk, pen in hand. Not in anger, not in spectacle, just clarity. I calculated the sum I had contributed. 3 years, 12 payments a year, $1,940. Exactly the amount my brother had spent on the jet ski tonight. I wrote a note and left it on the kitchen counter. Let him pay it. Signed. The act itself was almost mundane. There was no dramatic flourish, no angry declaration, just a transfer of responsibility, a quiet assertion of boundaries. The next morning, I woke to the insistent ringing of my phone. 81 missed calls. My mom, my dad, my brother, cousins, aunts, even distant family friends I barely knew. Messages piled up, the text notifications screaming in red. I didn't answer. I let it happen. There was an almost imperceptible satisfaction in watching them scramble, realizing the financial safety net I had quietly provided for years had been removed. I sipped my coffee, listening to the relentless buzz of the phone. There was no gloating, no triumphalism, only the quiet knowledge that they now had to face the consequences of their own choices, that the power dynamic had shifted, and finally it was undeniable. My leverage was no longer invisible. Throughout the day, I thought back to the early moments of my career, the small victories my family overlooked, the nights I stayed up covering their obligations or cleaning up after mistakes no one acknowledged. I realized it wasn't revenge I wanted, it was recognition. But in the absence of acknowledgement, I had given myself control. Calm, unceremonious, and absolute. By evening, my inbox was flooded with apologies, threats, and desperate attempts to explain. I ignored them. Silence was my answer. My world didn't fracture, my life continued, intact. And yet for the first time in years, the boundaries I had ignored were visible to everyone else. I walked past the living room where the family had gathered. The jet ski brochure sat on the table, bright and new, its cost now conspicuously unsustainable. I didn't speak. I didn't linger. Their gaze followed me, the tension between expectation and reality stretching taut. It was enough. I spent the night alone in the quiet apartment, the phone silent. For a brief moment, I thought about the patterns of favoritism, the invisible labor, the unbalanced scales. I thought about my promotion dinner and how for the first time I didn't need anyone's validation to recognize my worth. I had paid my dues and set my limits. And in that stillness, a subtle sense of empowerment settled in. Not the fiery, cathartic kind, but the steady, resilient kind. It was calm, controlled, professional. They had called me 81 times. I had answered 0, and that was enough.